Executing this strategy will require extensive partnerships and new resources. With the support of our partners and stakeholders, both present here today and others, we are confident that we will achieve our ultimate goal. At the Youth Café, we are strong believers in the idea that progress is not possible without collaboration. On that note, I would like to introduce our distinguished panel, who are all our partners. We have Mr. James Karongo Kuria, Regional Program Officer for Youth Excel for International Research and Exchange Board, IREX. We have Dr. Emma Newport, Sustainability Research Program Fellow at the University of Sussex, and Faridah Abdallah, Youth Co-worker at SoS Children Villages in Kenya. Thank you all very much for talking to us today. We know that we partner in different ways with all of you, and we would love to hear about your different partnerships and experiences working with the Youth Café. I would like to start with you, Dr. Newport.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me to join the group today. I am a lecturer at the University of Sussex, and I've been working with the Youth Café as a partner on a project on youth mental health. We're scoping an intervention, so that means that we are exploring with the Youth Café and the young people connected to the Youth Café what kinds of mental health support they would like to see delivered, particularly around raising awareness, providing access to help and things like that. My biggest takeaways from this partnership, firstly, I can give the partner's perspective on the things that Cynthia was describing, as Cynthia is our project administrator. I can certainly speak to the fact that there's been a professional and efficient relationship around recruitment and of interns, and also recruitment of participants, of the communication channels set up, and also around the ethics of data management and protecting people's identities in their involvement with the project, and all of those mechanisms that are really necessary to deal with sensitive topics like discussing mental health. I think that the Youth Café is really ideally positioned to facilitate global academic research. So they can provide the mechanisms, structures and human resources to recruit participation, and also to disseminate findings with broad communities, which is really important for impact and outreach in new research projects. And to give an example, we had aimed to get about 100 participants in a survey that we sent out on youth mental health, and we had over 300 engagements and over 260 completed questionnaires. When we presented these findings to our global audiences, we received feedback about how impressed the range of data that we've received, the volume of data that we've received in what is actually a very short 6-month project. In fact, one of our global colleagues commented that we'd received the amount of data that you'd expect in a 2-year project. So I think that that's something that it really speaks to the value of partnering between research institutes and the Youth Café, and also that the structures are in place to facilitate that, and also that the technology is there as well. So that's my perspective on how these partnerships can be really valuable and result in important discoveries that are formed collaboratively and are disseminated through a wide audience too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Newport, for sharing your valuable experience with us. I would now like to request Mr. Karongo to please share with us your views.
Thank you very much, Malika, and for giving me this opportunity this afternoon to share with the rest of the team about our partnership experience with the Youth Café. I'd like to say that the Youth Café is one of my favorite partners in the Youth Excel consortium. And this is because I can relate a lot, to the experience of the Youth Café. One, being a youth-led organizations, the activities that they do, and they are living what I call the real experience of a youth-led organization, right from the executive director to the staff, that they have employed to work with. And therefore, for me, that is very, very key, because you'll find that most youth-led organizations, youth-led on paper, but when it comes to the actual thing, then they're not youth-led. So for me, that's one of the key things that stands out for me in our partnership experience with the Youth Cafe. The second thing is innovation. The team there, has a lot of innovative activities, innovative ideas. They do things differently, and they also new ideas that have been given to them. So that you can also relate, even when you look at the animated video, if you look at their strategic plan, really everything around them, there's a lot of innovation that comes to there. Number three, they're also ready to give opportunities to young people. Look at the interns, look at the staff, look at what the board members say, that, even for procurement, they're out there looking to give opportunities to young people who have companies. So by virtue that they are ready and willing to give more opportunities, to the young people, it's also very good. And lastly, about our partnership experience, one of the activities that we're implementing is the implementation research activity, which is around, media literacy, and also ensuring that we do not have misinformation, around politics, as we head to all know that next year is a political year in Kenya. And therefore, looking at some of the activities we are doing with them, then the activities that are fitting in the current generation. I'll say the activities are also very current. They're not things that are, way back, things that, are not relevant to the young people. And therefore, in anything that they do, they ensure that it's relevant for the young people. It makes sense. Young people are involved. If you look at the implementation research activity, right from the design of the handbook, the persona, creation, for the different aspects of the program and the processes, and therefore the young people at the heart of all the activities. And therefore, I would say it has been a very good, experience working with the Youth Cafe team, and I'm happy to be part of this. Look forward to, continue working with you and seeing how, even as you broaden your other, areas in the strategic plan, how we can work with you. And therefore, for me, I would say the Youth Cafe is a very good partner to partner with. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you so much for those kind words. And it's true, at the Youth Cafe, we do really strongly believe in work for the youth, by the youth, and we try to do our best at that. I would now like to ask Madam Faridah to please share your insights with us. Is Madam Faridah here with us?
Yes, that's me.
All right, thank you so much for being here. Please, could you share some of your insight on the different ways that you have partnered with the Youth Cafe?
Yeah, so thank you so much for inviting me here today. And I'm looking forward to see how we can actually strengthen the collaboration and partnership with Youth Cafe. My experience working with the Youth Cafe is that they have directly engaged my young people, because I work with the SoS Children Villages, and SoS Children Villages, we have a section of the youth program. So basically, my youth are working directly with Youth Cafe at some point as members, but they have also been engaged. They have engaged them with within a couple of projects. For instance, I remember the first project they worked on with the youth directly was the media literacy project, where the young people were directly involved. Because now what was happening was there was so much information, and young people sometimes are exposed to information, and sometimes they perceive information and use it. Sometimes was an issue. So this for me was a very nice project for young people. And I really enjoyed working with Youth Cafe on this project. The other thing I think is that Youth Cafe, they normally do what other organizations don't do. Engaging young people directly in research, is very important, because sometimes what is happening is other organizations do the research, and then you have an organization working with young people, and then you actually working with data that young people actually were not even part of. So for me, that direct engaging young people in research to be able to get evidence-based research, kind of solutions is a very unique way of working with young people. And the other project I remember very well that my young people enjoyed working with so much, where I remember I also met Emma, nice to see you here on the platform, is the global lockdown events. I liked the way they engaged young people from, doing the basic desktop research to coming up with their own solutions, and then engaging people so directly as hosts, but also as, what would I call it? But also as moderators, and with this kind of approach, it means that young people are able to own up the process, and therefore they were easily able to come up with solutions. And because it was also a time of COVID time, they're able to share the experiences, the struggles, the issues on this platform. And then again, it reminds me of the uniqueness of the Youth Café organization. They have a principle around inclusiveness and diversity. That is why I'm saying that it's a unique way of working with young people, because it's from East Africa, we have young people in Africa, we have young people overseas. So these unique experiences and learnings that young people share with each other makes it, it means that young people then are able to come up with action plans that are actually more viable, also more applicable. The other way, perhaps what I could say, moving forward to make sure that the collaboration is even more stronger, is that I look forward to working with the Youth Cafe in terms of ensuring that we create more platforms, more spaces for young people to be able to engage more, but also because we look at young people as leaders, we need to start already engaging them in these spaces where they can be able to make decisions on politics, on economics, or some kind of policies that actually are not very, youth-like oriented kind of policies, so that we have young people being part of the development of their own communities, their countries, but also making a contribution to the 2030 vision, and then also the SDGs. So I'm very excited to be here today, and I look forward to hear from everyone. And for me, I say congratulations to the Youth Cafe. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing, all of you. We really do feel blessed to have such meaningful partnerships with you all and the opportunities that they provide. A follow-up to you all. How do you think the strategic plan leads to the advancement of these partnerships that we have at the Youth Cafe? I would like to start with you, Madam Faridah.
I am looking at, because already I think the strategic plan is something the Youth Cafe had already started most of the objectives. But for me, I'm looking at the Youth Cafe and the SoS Children Villages working more together and planning together, because sometimes you don't just want to work with a partner at the time when they're convening an activity. I'm looking for an opportunity to plan together, to also be able to implement this kind of activities together. So most of the thematic areas actually that Youth Cafe is implementing, I already have this kind of thematic areas in my youth program work. The thematic area around governance and leadership, the entrepreneurship and skills development, the sports, the culture. So I'm looking at opportunity and the partnership where we can move their strategic plan forward, but also contribute to my own work plan as SOS.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to ask Mr. Karongo to please give us your perspective on how you think the strategic plan would lead to the advancement of the partnerships at the Youth Cafe.
Thanks, Malika. And I think for me, what the launch of the strategic plan means to the partnership is that it creates more opportunities of collaboration, it creates more opportunities for us to partner together in terms of our proposals, for us to look at what are other areas can maybe increase our partnership. And therefore, for me, those two are very important, that the thematic area of strategic plan gives us more opportunities for partnership and collaboration, gives us more opportunities to look where we can look for funding together, and also just strengthens our partnership, so that if there are areas that, for example, from IREX perspective, we didn't partner with you before because we didn't feel that it was not your strength, but now since it's your priority within your strategic plan, then partnering, into those other areas, not only the other areas that we partnered with you before. For me, I'm looking forward to increased partnership and collaboration, and looking forward also just to seeing the youth cafes, looking also for other partners, because of those priority areas in your strategic plan, it will give you more opportunities also to bring more partners. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that comment, Mr. Karongo. Yes, we do see more concrete ways to partner with people through this strategic plan. Dr. Newport, would you have something to add on to that?
Yes, thank you. I guess there's sort of two ways to see this. One is around the more in which formal structures are put in place and established, those mechanisms of accountability, contract forming, budget management, all of those formalizations and developments of strategy there makes it easier to seek international grants as partners, because it speeds up the process. That was something that, again, was expedited very quickly with this project, which meant that we could really get it going very, very fast, because the Youth Cafe had all of those structures in place, and all steps towards enhancing those structural components of the organization makes, again, grant seeking easier to achieve, and allows us to work in different ways with different organizations, which is really exciting to see. On a more personal level, obviously my interest has been around mental health and youth advancement, and I think that the articulation of human rights and economic productivity as key areas of development really sit very well and importantly with mental health. Positive mental health on an individual level and then into the community helps produce social harmony and cohesion. It supports the reduction in gender-based violence and substance abuse, and it also leads to improved physical health outcomes. So you can really see how this new focus on mental health that the Youth Cafe has been developing since Lockdown Live of last year is really part of this larger strategic framework in terms of the areas of focus. And I really hope that these partnerships continue to broaden and develop as we seek to move from working with Kenya to working with the broader Pan-African context. So yes, both on a practical structural level and also in a kind of thematic sense, I'm really interested to see how the next phase leads to the advancement and attainment of the 2030 sustainability goals.
Thank you so much for those remarks. Again, I thank you all for speaking with me today. We hope that we will continue having strong partnerships with you and all our other partners and prospective partners.